You're listening to Montreal Now with Aaron Rand and Natasha Hall on CJAD 800.
Good evening and happy Friday. Dan Delmar, Sarah DeHay, in for Aaron and Natasha. That sound means it's time for James Mennie of the Montreal Gazette. Hello, sir. Oh, it's a little static there, but you there? You okay?
But you're coming in very staticky as well. I wonder if...
Are you saying it's us?
Pastor is running over the control board.
I think it's you. I don't think it's us. But in any case, the flood of excuses, James. I was on the phone with Philippe Sabourin from the city of Montreal yesterday, and I was saying, he kind of dropped casually in conversation yesterday that Montrealers should avoid all underpasses. And I was like, oh, hang on, is that official? I mean, isn't that something we should officialize when we're going through one of these events?
Well, Dan, maybe I'm missing something here. I remember when we used to get, I'm sure you've covered this over the course of your career, when we would get big, fat, slippery blizzards. They would, it was amazing because they actually had this figured out. The police station in Westmount would send a patrol car to the top of Clark Street and divert traffic away from it. Yeah. And this is not rocket science. I'm very sorry. And I'm not going after the cops here. But you can turn around and say, well, if it's coming down like that, you shouldn't use an under. Well, first of all, I'm pretty sure nobody who got caught in an underpass yesterday, and that poor woman who called you had water coming into her car. I don't think she was pulling an Indiana Jones kind of, let me see if I can get through here. I think she got caught there. It was the storm was coming. It was announced. There was a tornado warning. But I don't think anybody who got caught in an underpass yesterday meant to be there. And as for this, and I love how the city of Montreal does this on a regular basis, is that they try to find the metaphor that's going to fit. So we got 1 month of rain in 2 hours, which is cool. Okay, fine. We were there. It was quite a storm. But what gets me is, how is it, and I know this isn't necessarily the city of Montreal, this is clearly Transport Quebec. For the past 24 hours, we've been seeing these nostalgic black and white pics of DeCarry back in 87 turned into a canal. Well, how come, we didn't see this coming? Because it was the same kind of a storm. And we've had big storms since then as well.
Yeah, good question. And
honestly, I'm not. It's great. Oh well, it's great. To be a Monday morning quarterback. I'm not. I'm a 1987 quarterback. I'm a God knows how many other years between then and now where we have seen storms like this. We have all scrambled to cover them. We have seen what the problems are. We know what they are. So why is it if when the city of Montreal is perfectly aware that there is a tornado warning and then a tornado watch in effect for the city, why is it so difficult for them to tell the cops, you know what, you see this underpass, get up in front of it. Nobody's going through it. Not for now.
The other unfortunate thing was we were speaking with the Insurance Bureau of Canada, and apparently if you are in your car stuck under one of these underpasses, the water seeps in or whatever, that may not be covered under your policy. That's an option you have to take, apparently. Who takes the underpass flooding option? And how many more Montrealers are going to be penalized by the city's lack of planning?
Well, but this is it. But I'm going to guarantee you that the city knows full well that this is not the first time this has happened. So what they'll do is they'll say, okay, this story is going to glitter and shine for about 73 hours maybe, and then we'll move on until, of course, there's another storm, at which point they'll find some other handy metaphor to say, well, whatever. Listen, you can't fix everything. You can't put the entire hydro system underground. But what you can do is learn from the experience of each event. And for some reason, every storm day, every tornado day in Montreal kind of looks like Groundhog Day. We keep having the same debriefings. We understand that trees are going to fall down. But on the other hand, are we in the same situation where after we have that freezing rain thing? Remember when they actually, I think it was the Journal de Montréal, got a former city of Montreal arborist, a tree surgeon, to go out and say the branches that fell down in the spring during this freezing rain were the same ones that fell down during the ice storm of 98. They had just grown back in and never been cut back. So unless there is, not just an appreciation of the past, but a certain amount of looking forward to the future, and whether it's this administration or another one, this seems to be a trademark of Montreal. It doesn't, it has its attention span doesn't seem to go beyond, say, the next 24, 48 hours or the next issue. But certainly a lot of people on now in Montreal are going, my God, what happened? And the bigger question, of course, Dan, and we have to come to terms with this, is when will it happen again? Because this is not extraordinary weather. It's extreme, but it's not extraordinary. It is becoming dangerously common.
From post-storm coverage, let's take a trip over to Iceland, James.
Yeah, let's take a limo. And let's spend
How much could it cost?
Let's spend about $15,000 a day. Man, that's crazy. What is it about? And for those of you who are just joining us, folks, Sarah's referring to Governor General Mary Simon. I think it was like about $200,000 they spent. It was nearly $300,000 to go to Iceland. They for some eclectic meeting, Arctic Council, whatever. And Mary Simon goes there, and for some reason, for 4 days, she and her retinue managed to spend $71,000 on limousines, which apparently were ferrying her and her entourage between the hotel where they were staying and the venue, which was literally a 10-minute walk away from where they were. Now, I'm not saying that, I'm not one of those guys. I don't say Mary Simon should have hitchhiked or just walked over, put on her runners or whatever. But somewhere between, $71,000 and maybe $10,000 for the whole gig. It's just crazy. And yet, you can't point the finger at Mary Simon. It seems to be a tradition in the Governor General's office when they give you what I think is one of the coolest uniforms. That red jacket, as far as I'm concerned, with the gold brocade, that is the coolest outfit. But all that said, it seems that once you put that on, you've got to spend more money than anybody else, which I think is fundamentally wrong, especially now that Her Majesty the Queen has passed on. And I think a lot of the slack, even former monarchists or people who supported Elizabeth as queen, I think that's gone. And I think you're going to see a narrowing margin of patience with Canadians of all stripes about how much the vice-regal office is costing us. I know it's a drop in the bucket compared to everything else. But listen, people remember Bev Oda not because of her accomplishments as a cabinet minister, but because of a $15 glass of orange juice. And that, my friends, is history.
Have a great weekend, James.
You too, guys.